Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Reclaiming My Life. I'm one of your hosts, Tramika Cooper, and today we will be discussing homeless children and the effects it may have on them. Now, as a child care educator, I come in contact with a lot of homeless families over the years, and I would say it's a sad situation. Research shows that almost 7% of youth, or 1.5 million children and adolescents each year, may run away from home, mainly due to family conflicts, abuse, or neglect. So, in my field of work, the homeless families that I deal with are parents not able to keep a job due to drug abuse or even domestic violence. Now, my role as an educator is to help the child that may be suffering from behavior issues due to being homeless. The child that don't understand why they might be staying at a different place every night. Um, a child that's not able to have a home cooked meal or a bed that they can call their own. It's hard to see, children in a situation like that. Children that may not have clothes to wear. It's getting cold now, and we have children that's coming in, still with shorts on, a long or short sleeve shirts because the parents can't afford, clothing for them. So it's hard, to see this on a daily basis. Um, and some educators see some of these children as bad, but I see innocence and confusion and sometimes anger. They don't understand, so all they know is to lash out in inappropriate ways. I want to bring in my co-host to discuss this matter a little bit further. Claudia Massey. Hey,
Yes.
Coach.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So, I know you work alongside children. You've been a foster parent before, so you've seen, some children that come in that, in the same situation as homeless or, being neglected in homes. How do you deal with situations like that, or how have you dealt with it?
Yes, it's truly, truly sad because, children, they really don't understand what's going on. And when you have homeless children,
Hmm.
like you said, that's from place to place, night after night, they're going to school, they're already traumatized from some of the things that they're witnessing. And then they go to school, and because they don't have, like you said, clothes isn't like, the other kids, and they're not dressing warm when it's cold,
Right,
then they have to be bullied on top of being homeless.
right.
So homeless children, they really do. They go through a lot. I've seen a lot of children with lice in the hair,
Hmm.
being eaten by bed bugs. So, there's just so much trauma for homeless children. And a lot of times I think when we're talking about homeless people, we always think about the adults and no one really
Hmm.
talk about the children.
Hmm.
So, Shamik, I'm glad you brought this topic, up tonight because it really does need to be addressed and, how we can help. A
Right.
lot of times, again, people are riding by or walking by and, we're looking at homeless people, with their noses turned up. But everyone I feel should get involved in their communities. If someone, just stand up, and say, hey, let's do something for the homeless people in each community. What can we do,
Right.
during the holidays? Like, we talked about last week or the week before, we were talking about, seasons changing.
Hmm.
When we know the seasons are changing, we need to be at the homeless shelters or even on the streets providing clothing,
Right.
for the children. We should have somewhere where they can go, for baths and make sure that their hair is clean.
Yes.
We really do need to look out for our children because, they go through a lot in school as it is, even children who aren't homeless. So, yes, unfortunately, I've seen a lot of this, and I
Mhm.
definitely do try to do my part. Um, Through the ministry I founded in memory of my mom, Rena's Through
Mhm.
Life Ministry, we do a lot of things for the homeless people, but of course, I'm only one person.
Right.
So I encourage, our listeners and viewers, get involved. If not for adults, do it for the children.
Right.
Please do it for the children.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Claudia. Dr.
Yes, you're
Tyson,
welcome.
Yes.
so from a clinical point of view, I know you see a lot of homeless children coming in. Um, I want to say, what do you see as far as the mental state in these children?
Well, as you guys said earlier, many of them are confused about what's happening. Sometimes they're in the situation because their parents may be dealing with mental health issues, but they may not be taking their medications. They may have lost their jobs. And sometimes the children, sometimes they end up staying in the hotel. And so when they come into the office, I try to immediately get them set up with case management. We try to
Mhm.
find them housing. There's different programs that are offered in the area. We also connect them with food resources as well. And some of the housing in the area, they have vouchers that help parents find housing within they give them a certain range, a certain dollar amount, and they try to help them find housing in the area. We also, when the kids come in, they're anxious, they're concerned about where they're sleeping or may not be sleeping well because they're in a strange bed, and so they're not fully alert the next day in class. And so we're making sure that they're getting adequate sleep. And then, like you said earlier, bullying or either feeling depressed about the situation, because kids get
Mhm.
depressed as well about
Right.
their current situation. So the key is finding them placement, because we know also kids that are going through all of this, sometimes their grades are falling behind. And so we try to get them help in the school with the counselors, with also tutoring. And then if we get them tested, if some of the kids are having some issues with cognitive development, being able to not read on a certain grade level, we get them tested and we help get them what we call IEPs, where they're either taken out of class, they're offered one-on-one time to help them in those areas where they need help with math or reading or science, so they can keep within their grade level and not fall behind and be a grade level behind, which also increases the risk for bullying. So we help them in different areas.
Right. Thank you for that. Now, in my field, we have an application, a food program application that we ask all the family members to fill out. Um, and in some cases, we don't know that our families are homeless. But on this part of the application, it asks the question: is this family migrant, homeless? And that's my department, the food program. So I make it my business to make sure I look at that each time that I have a new family come in to see if they're homeless or not. And like Coach Claudia said, we have an angel tree that we do every year, and we surprise the families with these clothing and toys and stuff for the kids. um and again, like you said, some of them fall behind in their work, but then I have found some that are very smart, um but their mind is just so overwhelmed with other things, dealing with like being bullied, not having nice clothes, that they're really just not focused. You understand? And it's really hard for them, like you say, seeing parents going through what they go through. So I'm so glad that I brought this topic to the table, because like Coach Claudia said, a lot of people focus on the adults and not the children. I know, I do a ministry for homeless women. It's a pocketbook ministry where I give them sanitary napkins and stuff like that during the Christmas holidays. But we need to focus more, sometimes on our children as well. Coach Claudia, do you have any final words?
No, I'm saying no, and at the same time, I'm about to say something.
It's okay.
you know, I just want to say, thank you so much, for bringing this topic up again tonight, because, and I would say, even I am guilty, although I do for the children. I never really thought about it like this, So thank you so much. And again, I just want to encourage people to get involved,
Mhm.
because it could have been you. A
Right.
lot of times when we're talking about homeless people, and like I said, we have our noses turned up. But what situation led to the people being homeless? You know,
Right.
I'm sure that it's been a time or two that you were late on your rent, or
Mhm.
you faced an eviction notice and you didn't have anywhere to go, or I mean, anything,
Right.
could be the reason why people are homeless. So, stop turning your noses up at people, because, you never know. You can be doing very well one day, and
Mhm.
anything can happen to change your life. And it could be you that we're trying to help, and it could be me. So we never know. So let's help everyone, because we're all brothers and sisters in Christ. I don't care what situation you're in or where
Mhm.
you are in life. We need to be here for one another.
Right. That is so true. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
Dr. Tyson, any closing remarks?
So I would just say, don't be afraid to get involved. And like you ladies said, you guys work with a particular group. My mom and I, through Tyson Multimedia, we work with a local women's and children's shelter, and we provide them with different things that they need throughout the year. So my finding words would be to don't be afraid to get involved, to help others, not just only during the holidays, but throughout the year.
Thank you, ladies, so much. So Mother Teresa
Yes.
said, being unwanted, unloved, uncared for, forgotten by everybody, I think that is a much greater hunger, a much greater poverty than the person who has nothing to eat. So if ever you're in the midst of a homeless child, show them some love. The way we talk to children becomes their inner voice. Remember, your voice may be the one that they remember. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Reclaiming My Life.